Hi, so I'm Jake Shapiro. I'm Executive Director of PRX, the Public Radio Exchange. You can find us at prx.org. I do the plug, have to do it. So PRX is an online clearinghouse and network that connects independent producers and local public radio stations. I'm also a fellow at the Berkman Center for Internet and Society at Harvard University, where my colleague Persephone Meal is also a fellow, and I'll be introducing her in a second because she's really doing the bit of the high order bit. I'm doing the sort of wrapper around the high order bit. And the Berkman Center has a number of projects, some of which have already been mentioned here, Global Voices. There's a really good one that I think was sort of referenced indirectly, the Citizen Media Law Project, which I highly recommend checking out because they've been doing a great job of going and surveying actual case law about threats to bloggers and independent journalists, providing a toolkit everywhere from like how to create an organization to help protect yourself in online spaces. So CMLP is really good. And then Media Republic, which is something that Persephone will talk about. So I was part of the organization of the first Beyond Broadcast, which was back in 2006, where the thesis that we put forth was that there's terrific potential at the intersection of public and participatory media. And we're really thinking about, as sort of Lee Banville was talking this morning, public broadcasting aspiring to become public media, or at least making a reach for the claim to play a part of public media, because doesn't have sole claim to that notion. And what does it mean in the sort of midst of obviously an explosion of social media ventures and experiments? I think Pat Aufderheide has captured it well in the FAQ about this, but also saying that public media has a chance to make media now, public broadcasting has a chance to make media with the public and not just in their name, which is an interesting way to kind of twist it. And then, a couple years hence from the Beyond Broadcast we did almost 3 years ago now, it's a feeling like, okay, well, what does it add up to? Are we able to, even in this short span of time, we're really only nanoseconds into the big bang of the internet age, can we start to grasp a little bit about what does it all add up to? A line that I heard recently, somewhat dismissive of this, was about a definition of podcasting, which is that podcasting is like radio without the listeners. I've always been looking for a definition of podcasting. That wasn't the one I was hoping for, but we do podcasting and we have, some listeners. And then I think in the midst of this, we're at lots of meetings that I've been attending, both with foundations and funders and Corporation for Public Broadcasting and leadership in public media. There's this struggle over the role of public broadcasting in all of this. And a sense that, and we hear this confirmed over and over again from outside speakers, that there's tremendous assets that we have, a local presence in every community, a national reach, these big brands of well-known programs, and this fundamental challenge of mapping what is been a broadcast mentality and practice and sort of in our DNA to enable participation and openness, and not even understanding necessarily what the definition of success then is. Is it meaningful if you are somebody who has a weekly cume of 100,000 people in your community to have a blog that has 47 comments on a post, which actually could be potentially hugely successful and important, but how do you even add that up? I also sense this opportunity for collaboration between public media, stations, networks, producers, and this sort of surge of new startup projects, some for-profit, some nonprofit, and there isn't very much of that yet happening. That was one of the hopes I had when we had Beyond Broadcast the first time, and it's a sense of energy here as well, where there's a kind of confluence and a new map, in a sense, that's being made between practices. But the opportunities there for collaboration, I haven't yet seen those start to take root. And in a way, it's also interesting. I've heard a couple comments from leadership in public broadcasting recently, where they are, there's sort of an increasing nostalgia for what it was like in the 70s when everybody kind of got it all started, and everybody's just sort of experimenting on the radio, and we didn't really care about what the audience numbers were, and we weren't really sure what the business model was, but